Oh yeah, my dudes, welcome to episode 1 of Let's Do Weird Stuff with Your Tie because you hate wearing a collared shirt. So, I've had a million people ask me how to do the rose. By million, I mean like 15. So I'm starting with a 2-inch tie. It is... Actually, I have no idea how long these are. Close to 5 feet long. I stretched out my arms to measure this. We're going to start with the thinner end. You can also do this on a regular 3.5-inch tie, a wider tie, however you like. We're going to want at least enough that you can wrap it around your neck if you choose to do so. And if you have a pin, you can stop it right there. If you want to do this without a pin, which is trickier, I suggest having a little bit of a tail to work with to tie on the end. I like doing about 4 inches on the end there. So that point that you had held, see the right finger? Yeah, these guys are how long you're going to want this. So leave that alone. Don't bother with it. Now I'm going to flip this around so you can watch my hands for this part. Let's see how much you can see in there. Yep, that kind of works. Alright, so first you're going to tilt this so that it's at a 45 degree, or actually a nice 90 degree angle. See how that makes a nice 90 degree angle? Isn't that nice? So both of these are coming out at a 45 degree. Sorry, actually 90 degree. No, that is a 90 degree. So now we're going to take this end. Always we would like, let me make sure you can still see me in the camera. Yeah, you can see me in the camera, perfect. We're going to approach the right side by your fingers on the bottom. So here's the bottom, here's the top, and we're going to start on the bottom, and we're going to flip it over the top. So see how I flip that? Approach from the bottom, flip it over the top. See how it flipped in that direction? And then we're going to wrap this around. See how my left hand stays exactly how it is? And then we just wrap this right end around. I like to twist with my left hand so that it starts to spool up that right end. And then grab all the stuff in your left hand and scooch it over. Now just keep repeating the same thing all the way down. Start from the bottom, flip over the top, wrap around. And it doesn't have to be perfect. This is a rose. They're pretty natural. Again, start from the bottom, flip over the top, and then keep wrapping that around. See how I like to wrap the left side like a fruit roll up or like a spool of thread? Start from the bottom, flip over the top, and wrap. I'm just making it pretty. Approach from the bottom, flip over the top, and wrap. And keep doing that. We're just going to keep approaching from the bottom, flip over the top, and wrap. Approach from the bottom, flip over the top, and wrap. Approach from the bottom, flip over the top, and wrap. And pretty much what I'm doing with my left hand is just making sure that all this gunk doesn't go springing out like crazy. It just stays pretty much where it is. It'll fall naturally and be beautiful on its own. Start from the bottom, flip over the top, and wrap. And mine's being very tricky today because I didn't wrap very tightly. There we go, I wrapped it a little bit more tightly. Start from the bottom, flip over and wrap. Go from the bottom, flip over the top, and wrap. Go from the bottom, flip over the top. And see how now I'm starting to wrap it more of a 45 degree angle than a full 90 degree angle like that. This is so that I can tuck these, make sure I'm in the camera, tuck these bottom edges under the butt of the rose, as I like to call it. And grab from the bottom, flip over and wrap, and just keep going until you have something that starts to look like a rose. And you can make this, you can make it a little bit looser so that you get nice soft edges. You can pull it super, super tight so that you've got a very pointy rose. Your choice, it's your rose, do what you like. Start from the bottom, go over the top and wrap. When you get to this handy dandy loopy doopy here, I like to try to make it so that it's available to grab. Like here, it's not very available. So maybe I'll go back a couple petals and pull them a little bit tighter so that I know for a fact that's going to end up on the bottom. Let's try looser. Looser, looser. There we go. That means that I have access to this later on to tuck in extra things into. That's optional. You can just use a pin also. If you're at Magiscola and you have house points, you can use the house point pin to hold everything in place. Or a safety pin, or a straight pin, or magnets, whatever you feel like. And keep doing the same thing where you went from the bottom, flip over, and wrap around. Until you have just this left. At this point, you can try to position it so that it looks like a cute little petal sticking out. You can tuck it under so that you don't have to worry about it. You can even use it to tie the other side. Whatever you like to do, remember that this you ideally want to stick to this stem here where it comes out. If you put it too far out here, this is all going to come unraveled. So you got to make sure that you keep this in place with wherever that last end of your wrapping end ended up. But don't pull it too hard, otherwise this will come, here we go, this will come flying out the other side. So I just like to hold it gently in place. If you ideally have a ton of pins, you can pin all the way through. You can pin up and down, pin sideways, whatever you want to do. So don't pull it too tight. See how that's not coming undone, even though I'm shaking it? Fantastic. And if you have a pin, you can use it at that point. If not, if you just want to tie it in place, I'm going to do a reef knot or an overhand knot, left over right. This has to be super careful. If you pull too tight, you will undo the inside of it. But you'll get the feel for this. And then right over left. And the reason I did left over right and right over left, which is known as a reef knot, it's got a bunch of other knot names, you can look them up if you like, is because the other kind, if you do right over left and then right over left, or left over right, is called a granny knot, and is very unstable, comes undone at the worst times, just don't do it. So there you have your rose, and you've got the rest of your stem to put around your neck. Let's show you how to put it around your neck. Doop. So you have the rose, go on around the neck, and let's look for some things. Okay, we had this little black short end of the tie tuck fabric thingy, I can't remember the name right now, that you can use to tuck in this end. Like so. See how it went through there? That's nice. And then if you want, you can loop this back around so that it stays very, very well in place. That's one way to do it. You can pin it in place. If you don't have access to the loopy doopy, or if it's fallen off, we have, so this is the back of our rose. This is that knot that I tied earlier. Here's that loopy doopy. Maybe you want to tuck it behind one of the petals. Whatever you do, just make sure you're careful with it. You pull too hard, it's going to come undone. Maybe you want to tuck it around the petals and then tie a knot there. It's all right. It's your rose, whatever you like to do. Also, for the look of the rose, you can unravel it a little bit. You can make it a looser rose by twisting it in one way or the other. That is my looser rose. What if I want to make a little bit of a tighter rose, a smaller rose? Spin the other direction. You'll get the hang for this. And look at that, I made it just a little bit smaller, just a little bit tighter. Your choice, it's your rose, have fun with it. So any questions about that, feel free to ask. And next episode, we're going to go over that necklace tie I showed you guys. Alright, have fun.